Hi guys, how are you? Good to see you again. Okay, so now, the last few lessons were concerned with answering an IELTS question. So we've looked at combinations of graphs. Okay, so we had a line graph and a bar graph. We had a bar graph and a pie chart. We had a table as well. So those were in combination, except for the table, of course. Now we're going to look at a pie chart. Okay, we're going to describe three small pie charts relating to the same idea. So they're not actually separate graphs as such. Okay, they're all describing the same thing. Okay, which has slight different effects on the paragraphing structure. Okay, so what we're going to do, as usual, in the last few lessons, we're going to look at reading and understanding the question, understanding and interpreting the graphs. This time I'm going to talk a little bit more about the graphs when we're interpreting it, because I don't see the need after the last few lessons of going through everything slowly, gradually. This lesson I'm going to move through a little bit faster, because you should have already got the idea of certain aspects of describing these graphs. Okay, so you're already familiar. We can move forward a little bit quicker. So I'll talk a bit more about understanding and interpreting the graph there, and we'll get straight into paraphrasing the question very quickly, because you've done that as well, and then describing the proportions, paragraphing. Okay, so we're going to go through this in a similar way to the other lessons, but we're going to leave out a lot of the linguistic content, because you should already know all about that stuff. Okay, good stuff. Let's move on. Now, reading and understanding the question. So, what question have we got this lesson? The charts show the quantity of milk in pints consumed daily by children in the UK in 1997. Okay? Let's take a look at these charts a little bit more closely, and we will try to understand what's happening in the charts and try to interpret the information. So, here we have a more detailed view of the charts. Now, first of all, what you've got to look at is each chart individually. Okay, we've got the key to the side showing us what the colours mean, and the colours mean different amounts of milk, different volumes of milk. Okay, in pints, as was said before. If you look at the chart for boys, now the thing that jumps out immediately is the two slices of the chart which have the highest proportions. Okay, you can see that the yellow or slightly orangey slice has 27% of the total. The pink one has 33. So those two are the most significant proportions in the chart, the pie chart. For girls, it's slightly different. Okay, what's similar to boys and girls is the yellow colour. Okay, so half a pint. And the proportions are quite similar, but for girls, the purple part, or the pink part, which is a quarter of a pint, is now less significant. Okay, there's another part of the chart here which is more significant, which is for more than 1 pint. Okay, so for the girls, 23% drink more than 1 pint. Okay. If you look at the graph for the total, the chart for the total, you can see it reflects the proportions, the significant proportions that are the same in the boys chart. Okay, so again, for a quarter of a pint and half a pint, okay, 26% respectively. Then we think about the less significant proportions in the chart. So for boys, it's the red, the blue, and the sort of greeny brown colour. And those are above 3/4 of a pint. So 3/4, 1 pint, and more than 1 pint. For girls, it's 3/4 of a pint and 1 pint. Okay, but it changes this time. So a quarter of a pint is one of those as well. Okay, so the pink section or the purple section. And again, for the total, you can see 15, 15, and 12 are the less significant trends there. Okay, now the smallest parts of these charts are for those consuming none. Okay, so these are the least significant parts, which will also be included for those which are less significant, so in the subsequent sentences of each paragraph. Okay, so you can see what's happening in these